your lighting though. It looks good. It's like
Oh, good.
relaxing.
Thank you. Yeah. My home is definitely I like a my husband and I love a zen vibe. So, yeah, but I
That's
love
good.
your space too. It was so fun to be there.
Oh, I know, yeah, and that's crazy to believe, like, you it's been 5 years, right? Almost 5 years, like 4 or
Yeah,
5?
I think so.
Like, time flies by.
I literally was saying that today to someone, and it's like, I just can't believe how quickly time is flying by. And it feels so much more even now that I'm a mom, it just feels even like it's flying by even faster. Because there's such a piece of time, I think, that you like seeing your child grow and you're like keeping track of the time more than I did before. I mean, working for myself in music, I think you do kind of at the end of every year, like acknowledge like, oh, what do I want to accomplish this year? Or, like what goals do I want to achieve and stuff. But like more so than when you're working for someone else or something in some ways. I mean, maybe people do that probably even if when they work for someone else. But for me, it feels more that way. And when I
Yeah.
was working entirely for myself, so it's just funny. I'm rambling now.
No, you're not rambling at all. It's funny, I was, going through your music and you have so much material, but I love the song October 13th, right? That's about your baby?
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So yeah, I put October 13, my new single out available on all music platforms on February 14th, Valentine's Day. And it's been so fun to see how people have used the song on TikTok, and there's such a moms on TikTok culture. So that's been pretty neat. And
Yeah,
then
that's awesome.
but most importantly, it was the best year ever. I became a mom and I just wanted to write a song that perfectly captured like, how much I loved my daughter and in the moment of time and also make it special to her and so that she knows that it was specifically written for her. And so, yeah, I wrote this song with Dan Swinimer, who's a dear friend of mine. He wrote one of my favorite singles of all time, which is still like one of my popular songs, Party Rules,
Oh,
uh,
yeah. That's a good
which,
one.
yeah, which was one of the songs that just kind of took my career to that next level. And so, but one of the things I loved so much about Dan when I wrote Party Rules with him was that, he was a dad, or he is a dad, and he um has always been just such a great like mentor. And when I was like, oh, throughout the year I was writing down lines of like, or like ideas that came to me. And um I was like, "Who do I wanna write this with?" And I was like, "I wanna write this with Dan." And he helped me capture exactly how I wanted it to be. And yeah, it's been really well received, and I'm
Yeah.
happy, and the most important thing is I love it so much, so I'm proud of it. And, the album art is a picture of and yeah, at when she was 1, and so it's so special.
You should write, like, another song for your daughter when she's, like, a teenager, so it'll be, like, a different vibe, you know?
Totally,
I'm
it's funny
just like
actually. It's funny because like, I wrote Party Rules in 2014 with Dan, which was
wow, yeah.
nearly 10 years ago, and so his kids are much older now, and so, the challenges that he's going through are totally different than what I'm going through with my daughter. And, and it's crazy how quickly even just, like, a week changes. Like, I feel like we've just entered into the toddler era, which is so fun and cute and sweet, but also, like, challenges that, of how do you manage a tantrum or them not wanting to go to sleep, which I'm dealing with because that's why I was late just now. So,
Oh, no, no,
uh,
no.
yeah,
And
it's like
yeah.
she's still awake right now.
Oh, no.
But, oh, well.
It's oh my gosh. I remember those days, being that
Yes.
small, and I remember,
Right?
like, the diapers. I know your husband, I don't know, like, if he was good at changing diapers at first, because I was kinda like, "I don't know what I'm doing," you
Actually,
know?
it's a funny story. I the first week my mom was with us, staying with us and helping, and I I guess she comes up to me and she's like, Elizabeth, like, I think Will's putting the diapers on wrong, on, like, backwards. And I was like, "Oh, really? Like, show me, like, how?" Like, or, like, did he she had just done the change, and I was like, "Well, I did that change before you." And then she showed me how to put the diaper on, and I was like, "Oh my god, I've been putting the diaper on wrong this
That's
like, for
so
a week."
funny.
Like, and she's like, "I didn't wanna say anything, because I didn't wanna, hurt his
Yeah.
feelings." Meanwhile, it was me who was putting
Oh,
the diaper
totally. Yeah, who knows? I mean, I would have probably done the same thing. Oh,
so
and Will's your husband. I remember when you came over, you brought some of his bottled water to the house. Does he still do that?
yes, yes, this is it,
Nice.
Evermore.
Oh,
Yes.
that's so cool.
Yeah, it's cool, they just came out with a new bottle. Whoa, wait, this way.
Yeah, that the logo looks different a little bit, or something looks a little different. That's cool.
I think you can get it in Atlanta at, like, the Whole Foods.
Can you?
Yeah, maybe, I
Can
don't
you
know.
buy it on Amazon and stuff?
Yeah, you can buy it on Amazon. Yes, yes,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's so good. I know, I think I remember bringing, like, the really big ones. They have, like, a 64-ounce one. This is just the 20-ounce one, but yeah.
Oh, that's good.
How is Atlanta? How are you doing? Family.
Atlanta's good. Like, you can probably tell I'm a little stuffed because we have, pollen this time of year, so
Oh my
that's what
god.
we're dealing with, and I live on the lake, so it's just intense.
Yes, of
'Cause I wanna
course.
be on the boat and have to deal with pollen, so you have to
Yes,
deal
it's
with it,
wild
I guess.
here in New Orleans. It's like your car
Yeah.
just, like, filled with just, like, yellow dust, and you're just
Is
like,
it?
"I got my car washed," and it's, like, just pollen everywhere. I'm lucky, I don't have that bad of allergies, but Will and Win definitely have been, congested, so
Oh,
it's
have they?
my heart goes out to all of you people.
Right. Are you still, are you still traveling to Nashville, or you're not staying there anymore, right?
Yeah, so I don't live in Nashville anymore. I live in New Orleans, but yeah, I mean, I'm still doing music. I mean, so much of what we can do now because of COVID, one of the positive things is, we can write and make music really anywhere. And I have enough kind of friends that I can call and write remotely with, and then them make the tracks. Or nowadays, it's just changed so much. I remember my first album. All the musicians were in one room. We went into the studio together. We went in the studio to do vocals. And then, now it's like, you don't even really like see the musicians, like they just kind of go do their thing and send you the track, and then they put it all together. And so it's just kind of like cool in a way. But I need to get down to Nashville again, but it's kind of been a weird year. I was pregnant, and then I moved when Win was 3 months to Prague. Um,
Oh, cool.
to work on a show called An Interview with the Vampire that's actually coming out May 13th on AMC,
Whoa.
and my boss did Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad,
Oh,
and,
amazing.
yeah, I know, and he just won an Oscar for The Holdovers, which is a movie that you guys should all go see. And then my other boss, um, has done he's an amazing writer and done a bunch of different things, and won a Pulitzer Prize, and Friday Night Lights and Weeds, and yeah, so I've kind of moved from producing music videos and my live show content. And I remember I edited a video of like behind the scenes of coming to visit you and play,
Oh, yeah.
and I like remember, and like I just would always put together all these videos on YouTube and social media. And so producing was kind of always, I did that while I've been doing music. It was just not as a parent or a focus. And I remember I was shooting my music video Prove It in New York City, and these guys I worked with, Lewis and Adam, were like, "You are so good at this. Like, you should do this as a job. It's a big business in New Orleans." And my husband's from here, and
Mm.
family business is here. And so we have to be here. And so I started asking around, and then I got into doing some commercial work. And then I ended up applying for the job if to work for the people that I now work for the last 3 years, and, they ended up bringing me to, Prague, London, and Paris, and so the last year I've lived abroad working on, making a TV show, and, it was one of the best years ever, and, um, went to 12 different countries in a year, and it was a wild, it's been a wild year.
Well, now when you work on this, what are you doing exactly? Are you editing? Are you doing stuff like that?
The last, I guess, 2 or 3 years, I was an assistant to the executive producer, Mark Johnson, and, the executive producer and showrunner, Roland Jones, and then I was promoted to co-producer on Mayfair Witches,
Wow.
which comes out in the fall, and, I'm working on that right now, and then we're shooting that in New Orleans, and then we're gonna be moving abroad to, finish the show overseas, and then, yeah, so I'm a, like, producer, and so basically, my job entails a lot of different things, but, I'm in every meeting with every department, so, like, from costumes to hair and makeup to special effects, visual effects, stunts, all the different things, and, everywhere from watching the script develop, and developing the scripts to then seeing what's producible, and then having the prep meetings with all the departments, and then to actual shooting and being on set and making sure everything runs smoothly and that everyone's happy and that there's a good vibe on set, and, yeah, it's been so much fun, and I really feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, and it's been cool because through the process, I've also gotten some songs placed on TV shows, and that was always a dream of mine, because I was a film studies major in college at Vanderbilt, so it's, it's pretty full circle, and I produced shorts in college, and my senior year, I released, my first album that became an iTunes album bestseller, but I also
Yeah.
released a short that won a Nashville Film Festival student category award, but, I was just, went the music direction and not the film direction, because that's where my path just took me, but, it's fun to be able to now be doing film as well, so I'm enjoying it.
Golly, that's so cool.
I know. That's a lot.
That's like that's amazing. And you
Yeah.
have a baby, and while doing all this, I mean, do you get any sleep at all?
No. No, I'm kidding. Actually, sleep is, like, the one thing I do make sure that I get. I don't always eat as healthy as I probably should, and I don't work
Yeah.
out enough, but, I do get my sleep. That's something I don't give up.
You need that.
Yeah.
Um, when I was looking at Spotify and everything you put out since you've been on the show, it's been a lot of, like, singles and stuff, but it looks like you put out a full album a couple years ago, right? Was that
I did, yeah,
Yeah.
right before last April, about a year ago, actually, I think it was. I put out an album, not my first album, like 9-song EP. I was 20 weeks pregnant, and I was working on Interview with Vampires season 1 and Mayfair Witches season 1, so it was just
So
kind of
cool.
like I played French Quarter Fest, and, I worked, like, I think it was, like, I'm embarrassed, like, 80-hour weeks, like, it was a crazy time, and, but I'm super proud of the album, just, the timing of it kind of was like, "Ah!" Like, there's so much going on, but so many blessings, and the album, I'm so proud of it. It's an album about love. It's songs that I wrote over the last 10 years, and it's kind of like my husband and I's kind of, like, also, like, arc of our relationship, but also more kind of like my arc of how I've, like, gone through love, and, my a song that I wrote ages ago called "Settle Down Chicago" was a song that I never thought I would record, but, I'm in such a happy place now, having been with my husband for 10 years, like, was like, I just kind of went back to that song, and my sisters were like, "This is such a great song, like, you need to record this." And it's kind of a similar thing with Temporary, like, Temporary was the song that kinda kicked off my MySpace, plays that kind of helped propel me to make an album and pursue this as a career and gave me that confidence. And so I was like, "Okay, let's re-record that," because my voice has changed so much since I recorded it. That was, like, in I wanna say, like, 2010. Um, but then, songs like Ever Since the Day We Met, which I did with David Spencer, who's incredible, and, worked with, Kelly Clarkson and a bunch of
Wow.
big names. And then, I love the song Edge by a Char that I wrote with Charlie Brennan, who's a dear friend and a pop, um, writer. And, um
That's a
and then
great song, by the way,
yeah,
Edge.
it's
I
such
really
a
like that
great
one.
vibe and just,
Yeah.
so chill. And then Will is one of my favorites because I it's about my husband who's named Will, and I wrote that with and it was a couple, and we had so much fun writing it. And then
He's in the
Hunting.
video too, right? Will, like, you guys made
Yes,
a video
yes, he's
together.
in the video, and I actually made that video with my friends from the, film business, Eric Scramstead and Nate Seal, who I met, on set, and we made it and shot it on the weekend, and it was nice to be able to support them and, work on something like that was our own, thing. And then Huntin' and Kissin' I wrote with
Oh,
Hardy,
yeah.
whose career's taken off.
Wow,
He
Hardy, that guy. I get it.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, he was one of the first songwriters I met, and,
What was it like writing that song with him? Hunting
I
and kissing.
mean, he's just so authentic. He's always been to just so true to himself, which I think is what's really propelled him. And I think when he moved to Nashville, he was really just focused on being a songwriter and not an artist, which was always really cool to me. And I'm just happy that he's able to now just be in the spotlight and just thrive because he's such a great guy. And um uh yeah, so I met him through his sister who interned. I took over her internship. She worked for my boss, and then he had connected me to Hardy, Denny Carr. So it's kind of a small little world, but yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Do you ever get, like, do you ever get starstruck? Well, he's not like, I mean, when you met him, he probably wasn't huge like he is now, I don't know, but
Yeah, yeah, I mean, we were both hadn't done anything. I mean,
yeah, okay. That makes
we
it easier.
were both just "Oh, what bands do you like?" And, it was like we'd only both had, written a few songs, we were both, little songwriters who had just moved to
Mhm.
Nashville. And yeah, I mean, I don't really I feel like I'm really don't get that starstruck. I think sometimes I do, over, little things, I remember when I saw, Lisa Vanderpump from
Oh,
Real
yeah.
Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yeah,
I got,
yeah,
weird times, where I'm
yeah.
not I'm like, "Whoa," I think it's, where I'm a little more off guard. I'm like, "Oh, whoa," that's pretty cool. But I tend to just, I don't know. I think I may be used to, but anymore, I feel like um I just like if people treat people well and happy and are sending out good vibes and good joy, and that's more what's important to me than the
Oh,
star
yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like, oh, what's the vibe here? That's what I like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have you ever met anybody that you, like, love, but when you met them in real life and you're like, "Oh, I don't know if I like this person,"
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I
like
have.
a
And it's
bad vibe or a weird
such a
vibe.
bad it's such a, sad thing, you're just kind of it's a letdown. It's
Right.
definitely
Yeah.
it doesn't happen a lot, I mean, I feel like most everyone that I look up to and I've met and had the privilege to open up for are amazing, Blake Shelton was just incredible, making us gut laugh and so kind to my family, and, was so sweet. And, Sam Hunt, I have mutual friends with him, and,
Oh,
um
that's cool.
yeah, and, when I opened up for him, a few different times, he always remembered and, was it was my sister's birthday one time, and he was just so nice and just so supportive and, really, really awesome, and I love his band and, all of that. So there's so many great people, especially in country music, that are just so they're really kind.
You've opened up for so many people, like, I just wrote a list I think you sent to me a while ago, but Blake Shelton, Luke Bryan, Sam Hunt, Florida Georgia Line, Lady A, Little Big Town, Alabama, Dierks Bentley, Thomas Wright, Keith Urban, Jake Owen. There's so many people. That's
I know.
amazing.
It's crazy. Thanks for listing it off. Sometimes I forget. I'm like, "Oh,
That's
it's
so
really
great.
I'm really lucky." I know. And it's really cool. A lot of that I've been able to bring my family and friends along on the journey as well, and for them to get to see their favorites and stuff. I like was so inspired by Luke Bryan when I met. He was like the first person like that was big that I opened up for, and
Yeah. How
um
was it like meeting him? What was he like?
so cool. He pulled up in this Bronco, like this silver Bronco, and it was just so badass. And I love cars,
Yeah.
and my husband now at the time was my boyfriend, and I remember sending a picture because I got a picture with Luke when he pulled up in the Bronco. And I was like, "No, I want a picture of us with the car." And then I sent it to Will. And it's funny when I released the song, Luke Bryan, a lot of his fans it was like one of those like double-edged swords. Like people loved the song, but then some people like really did not like the song because they thought I was like going for Luke Bryan. And I was like, "No, lyric reads, I wanna find someone like Luke Bryan," which I already had found,
Yeah.
but it was just kind of a play on, like, Luke Bryan.
Right.
But,
That's a good spot to be on because listen, like, you
yes,
don't want it to be, like, boring where people don't pay attention, so people love it or
yes,
hate it. That's
yeah,
great, you know?
yeah. It's kind of like Taylor Swift doing, like, Tim McGraw, and it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
like and, someone in the business told me a great quote, which is, "You know you're doing something right if people love you and then they hate you." Like, then there's 2 sides of the spectrum because if someone loves you so much, that means someone's also probably going to hate you that much, which is
Oh, I didn't
kind
think
of
about that,
sad,
yeah.
but, it did help kind of make me feel a little bit better about taking that all in because that can be hard, to take that kind of criticism.
Yeah. No,
Um
I love, like, when you mentioned that, that reminds me of, like, I love your journey, like, when you talk about party rules all the way to October 13th when your baby's it was like, do
I
fans
know.
follow you through that journey, you know what I mean? Like, kinda
Yeah.
grow,
No,
mature?
they do, and I really have some diehard fans who've become friends and who I stay in touch with all over the world. I mean, I have everywhere from Oklahoma to Brazil, and it's
Wow.
like it's wild and, a testament to how cool the internet is and the way that you can stay in touch with people and like us, like you
Yeah.
like, it's nice to see, like so use the platform as a way to connect with people, and, I think that's what I always loved, and is kind of just the similar thing of what I do now is, like, full time. I'll always do music and always write music and put music out, but, like, every day being on set, I'm still connecting with people, I'm still storytelling, there's a performance element in that I'm not performing, but I'm helping and encouraging other people to put on a performance, which was a big piece of my job as an artist because I employed a band who, I had to go through creating a set list with and making sure that they were performing and like, giving them notes and such like that. So it's so funny that really like, um it's there's so many similarities in both of
Yeah, I
the
never thought about that. That's true,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. But it's also funny to go back and listen to old music and see how far I've come. And, my music's kind of all over the place, but it's in terms of like everywhere from party rules to God moment to now a song about
Right.
my daughter. but I think, like, the one thing you can kind of listen to my songs and hear the kinda growth of what I was going through from college till, like, now, being in my 30s or whatever. So it's just like, the different stages and chapters of life. Like I said, the different chapters of my album I put out, which is like finding love, falling in love, and being in love. And so that's I've just always just written about my life and what I'm going through and experiencing.
Oh, yeah, and totally. Can you go back and listen to that and feel like, do you, like, nitpick everything out? You know what I mean? Does it cringy listening to yourself, like your old self versus now? Like, I can't watch old interviews, it drives me nuts.
Right, right. No, yeah, it's funny. I like once a week go and listen to my songs, I would say. And depending on my mood, I'll usually be like, "Oh, I want to listen to that." And I think it's nice, but it's nice to see like the beautiful like pieces that I kind of like I remember creating those moments when we were producing the song or recording the song and then also seeing how my voice has grown and my songwriting's grown and I'm the most proud of this recent album I've put out obviously, but it's I think it's fun to see how I've changed and grown, but some of those songs that I released in the beginning years are still people's favorites, like
Yeah,
it's funny. It's just like you just don't, and I think it's just the age of it. Like it's like what I want to obviously my favorite right now is the songs that I recently wrote and
yeah,
recorded.
it should
That's
be
what
that
I'm
way, yeah.
going through. But
Yeah,
yeah, I hope that, a different like my song 24, my sister's 24 and you can listen to that song and it takes you back to that takes me back to that age of what I was going through at the time, the unknown. People are, the first time in your life, your friends are all in different places of their life. Some people have boyfriends, some people are single, some people know what they want to do, and some people have no idea what they want to do. And so it's nice in that way, is like you can kind of listen to my music and it can fit different types of the last 10
yeah,
years if someone's
that's a
what
great point, yeah.
yeah, so
Do you have a podcast, right? I was kinda going on YouTube and I saw, Behind the Music, is that what it's called?
no, I guess well, what that was a series I kind of did, to promote my album and highlight
Oh,
all of the
got you.
people that, like, work with it. I was kind of considering dabbling and doing a podcast, but I was like, "I don't know if it's for me." I love doing interviews and I love people and hearing their stories, but it is a lot of work, as you know, and I just was kind of like, I don't know if I have the capacity, with everything
Yeah,
going
you
on.
stay so busy, yeah.
Yeah, but I did want, like, to highlight, like, the mixer, the master, the vocal engineerist, like, jobs that people don't know exist, and I
Very
think it's
cool.
important to highlight those people and also inspire other people to know that there are these jobs that and people that are behind the music um, I think that's really important.
That's really nice of you to do, that's really cool.
Yeah, so
I've never
that's
heard of
why
us doing that before, that's
yeah,
cool.
and it was kind of a way for me also to, like, have content to put on social media ha yeah,
Yeah, just have
so
material, put stuff out there. I like
yeah,
it.
exactly, as you know, is a big piece of what we do.
S So you sang, like, I also noticed how many times you sang the national anthem. You did great, and there was a lot of times, right?
Yes, I mean, I don't know how many times it's been, but, yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do. I think it's just really great to be able to honor our country and our troops and, also the just bring everyone together in a moment of, like, kind of silence, if you will, like, is really cool, and, I've also, like, loved being able to, sing in front of 80,000 people at Lambeau Field and, like and Yankee Stadium and Fenway Park, and my dad is a huge sports guy, and so, to be able to bring him to go, like, on the field and, like, be in a box and just get that VIP treatment that
That's
and
amazing.
my mom
Yeah,
is
what a
too, like,
gift.
a diehard, like, football fan. So we've been able to go and see and experience like, a bunch of different cool things that we wouldn't have. And I've sing at, NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, like all the things. So it's been pretty cool. So that was a goal of those were goals of mine to do that. And I'm very excited that I was able to achieve those goals. And I love doing them. So locally the New Orleans Pelicans play here at Smoothie King Center, and I'm itching kind of to do it again, but maybe next season. We'll see.
Do you study, like, other, like, times you sang, or do you like, "Oh, I shoulda hit this note, or I should've done
Yeah,
that?"
of course. Yeah, I'm sure you do the same when you do an interview. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah, but yours is in front of so many people, though, like, you must are you
yeah.
nervous and stuff? Like, is it
I used to get really nervous because the first
Oh,
time I
yeah.
did it, I messed up. I started too
Yeah.
high, and, it was like a AHL hockey game, the Milwaukee Admirals, and but then I realized that no one really is paying attention, like, too much. Like, you are your biggest critic, and it's like, I think once I realized, like, it was kind of I was grateful that I, like, made the mistake the first time, was able to not make the mistake again because I made that mistake the first time. Uh,
Right, yeah.
and and so every time I went into it too, I was like, "You know what? No one really knows if you mess up, so why am I so nervous? Like, just enjoy this beautiful moment with, seeing the troops next to you or the fireworks go off." And, like,
Yeah,
my
enjoy it.
grandfather was a huge Cubs fan, and we got to, being from Chicago, like, going to games growing up, I got to do Wrigley Field, and, like, he got to be there, and, like, it was kind of one of
Oh,
the
man.
last years and shows that he before he passed away, so, like, it was so nice to be able to share that with him, and, like, that is I wasn't like, if I was nervous, I wouldn't have been able to enjoy it as much, but that's how I've always kind of approached it, but I definitely
Oh.
was a little nervous, of course, yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet, that's a good story. Uh,
Yeah.
have you ever thought of, like, having some kinda, like, documentary about your career and what you've done and what you're doing now with film and everything?
My
That'd be
god.
great.
I know, I love documentaries, and I don't know, I've never thought about it. I actually wanna do one for my boss because he's has an enormous career, and is just so many great stories to tell, and I keep telling him, I'm like, we need to do a documentary about you." But
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll see, but, yeah, I still have a lot I wanna accomplish in film before I feel like I could do something like that, but,
I think it'd be
yeah,
good.
we'll see, thank you, you're so sweet.
Uh,
But yeah, it is cool, I think, in that this my story is a different story of how to get into the business in a way. Atlanta is a huge film business, city,
Oh, yeah.
uh and so it is I think it is important to share your story sometimes when it isn't the normal trajectory of how to get there, because it may inspire someone else to do it that's thinking about it but maybe scared because they weren't able to, are scared maybe about their age or something, or how to get into it, or all the things. So yeah.
Well, I won't keep you here too much longer, but I wanted to tell you a quick, just a story when you we got to play empathy when you were here, right?
Yes.
Not empathy.
Um,
I did that
uh,
twice. I did that during our first
no,
interview.
no, I can't
Epiphany.
even remember. Epiphany. Yes, yes,
I
yes.
I
It
I
was
I
so much
butchered that
fun.
twice. That's so funny. 5 years ago, I said the same thing.
No, it's fine. I mean, empathy is important in life, but yeah,
Yes.
so after COVID, and we were raising money for uh, you know, all the foundations and fundraisers and stuff. And yeah, you were on drums and I was on piano. It was so
Yeah,
great.
that was so cool. I'm gonna have to,
Yeah.
like, insert a little video clip of that, and you were playing my
This is an epiphany. I'm gonna believe in me. Let go and fly, see where I land. This is an epiphany. I'm gonna believe in me. Take a stand. This is who I am. This is an epiphany. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
my daughter's little keyboard because I had nothing better. But you pulled it
Yes.
off great, you know.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was so sweet.
But we
How's she
made it
doing
work.
with piano lessons?
She's
Does
gonna
she
she does not do piano lessons anymore, so she
Oh,
plays soccer, and she's gonna
oh,
be a
that's so
teenager, so life goes on pretty
oh my
quick.
gosh, that is so wild. Well,
Yeah.
you should be proud of you and, you know, raising a
Yeah,
teenager. Those are hard years, but
yeah, definitely need a trophy or something. That's why when you're talking about like October 13th, I was like, yeah, let's see when she's 15. Let's go from there. No, I'm
totally. No,
just playing though. I don't mean to.
no,
Yeah,
it's
I love
totally
those years though. It's
I
amazing.
gave I definitely gave my parents a few heart attacks in those years, so
Yeah, right.
I'm
Yeah,
waiting
me
for
too. Yeah.
I'm gonna get payback for that, I'm sure.
It's
Um,
so wild too because, like, I remember, like, telling my mom and dad, I'm like, "I'm sorry." Like, now,
yeah,
when I see my kids how they are now, I'm like, "Yeah, I was the same way. I
I do the same
apologize."
I've done the same too, and I'm only in it for, like, a year and a half, so
Right? But you're in the best years, though. I'm really excited for
yeah,
you guys, so that's
me
really
too.
cool.
I know,
And
it's
you and
cool.
Will, you guys, been together for a while, and you
Yeah,
still doing the water thing. That's really awesome. I'm gonna have to order
yeah,
some.
yeah, it's fun. Yeah, or definitely order some. Yeah, it's a good time. It was really sweet the other day, when we were at the park and she went down the slide and she just goes, "I did it."
Oh,
And that
yeah?
was her first sentence, and I was like, "This is so sweet and fun," and, it's such a blessing and a joy to see them just transform into these little humans. So it's really fun. It's
Do you
been
take lots of video and stuff? And I'm sure you do.
I
Yeah.
do, yeah, I feel like I'm always on my phone capturing things. I do try to put it down every once in a while, but there's so many sweet moments, that I just don't wanna miss, and I have family all over, so I wanna make sure to share those photos with them and when we were living abroad, it was tricky for us to see family and stuff, so I would just always take video and kind of captured all of the moments, which has been fun to
Oh, that's
do
sweet.
because with the song October 13th, we one of the lines is your first smile, your first oh god, I should know the words, no, but, like, basically your first smile, your first time walking, your first time, like, all the first is what I wanted to, like, talk about and list, so that you could kinda
Yeah.
have a sweet moment with, like, put editing the clips together. And so, yeah, it was, it's been fun to play with using the song, to put over the beautiful content that Wynn creates.
Right.
It's nice
No,
to
I
not
love it.
be in front of the camera and have her be the star of the show.
Well, Elizabeth, it's been nice catching up, and we gotta do another one eventually of what you're doing now. That's so cool. We could do a
Yeah,
whole episode on that.
really, yeah, I love that.
Super
Uh,
talented. You got,
thank
like, all
you.
these different talents. It's
I
cool.
know, you're sweet, you do too.
That's
Uh,
all I got.
no, you've got a lot, you've got a lot, you got
But
a lot.
but
But yeah,
I love the music, though. How do people find you? It's just social media outlets, you know?
yeah, so my website's www.elizabethlyons, lyons music.com, and there you can find, like, all of the info, but I'm on all music platforms, and my Instagram is @ELYONS music, and, I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, X, all the things, and I'd love to hear
X, yeah.
from you. So message me if you have any questions or, like any of my music or TV shows.
Yes, I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Definitely, definitely, I love it, and it's been good nice catching up. We gotta keep
nice.
do another one in 5 years or maybe sooner.
Yes, definitely. I would absolutely love that. Hopefully we'll see where we are. I appreciate you reaching out, and I'm happy that we could get on together, and, yeah, this has been wonderful. You're so great. And I always love your lighting. It's so good too. And like your just professionalism is incredible. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.